something wrong? Pen. Between us, I mean. I wrote to you this summer, as I always do, and, well, you did not respond. I miss you.
You miss me. You miss me, but you had never caught me, is that correct?
Pen, I
overheard you. Of course you had never caught me. I am the laughingstock of the town, even when I changed my entire wardrobe. It just never occurred to me that you, of all people, could be so cruel.
Hey guys, welcome back to Patten time. Today is, well, it's Bridgerton. And we have been waiting, well, over, I think, 2 years since the last season. So, yes, this is what we have all been waiting for, of Bridgerton Season 3. And yes, this season, yes, is about Polin. So, yes, Bridgerton fans, if this is your thing, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Let us know what you think as well of the first 4 episodes. And we are going to do per episode as well, so that we're all, you know, on this journey together of what is going on in this season. So, as a heads up, obviously you must have seen our reaction to the trailer. We're not necessarily Polin fans, so just keep that in mind when we're talking about certain things. But yeah, still have a conversation with us and we can talk about it as well. And yeah, just have a difference of opinion, but have a conversation and what we're saying about it.
Yeah, but just to jump in, yes, we're not necessarily Polin fans. Like Leah said, if you did watch our trailer reaction, but we did keep an open mind, especially from the comments as well.
Yeah.
We did keep an open mind with this couple. Mm-hmm. But the things that we're going to touch on here, we understand that it's not really going to be a popular opinion because of all the Polin fans out there. Yes. But this is going to be a very honest review. Mm-hmm. And we're going to try and dissect it as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just bear that in mind, because we wasn't don't give you too much away right now, but just bear in mind that we wasn't too impressed with the 4 episodes that we got. So Polin fans, don't come for us. You know, we kept an open mind. We did. But anyway, so
okay, well let's just focus on Colin first, okay? Yeah. So obviously he's come back after a few months of traveling, doing this thing that he was normally doing, and so let's discuss this change in his character. So now he's a person who sleeps around or whatever, he's enjoying his life or whatever, and his excuse to that was that when he was away he had a chance to not be Colin Bridgerton but just become somebody else. He could just be Colin. Nobody knew him. He didn't have to worry about being part of the Bridgerton household and all of that, and holding up this standard to be a part of society. He could just be who he was and do whatever he wanted to do. Which we don't have a problem with, but I think it's the drastic change in his character of where he's coming from season 1 and season 2.
It's drastic change.
It's like Colin. It's not Colin.
It's not Colin. Colin was like, he was always out of the, I was going to say Benedict brothers. Out of all of the Bridgerton brothers, other than Gregory, because he's obviously too young, he was the humble one. He was the quiet one. He was the sweet one. He was, he had
manners.
Romantic one. The manners one. Even though they all had manners, they have to be taught that. But Colin was the quiet one out of the Bridgerton brothers. So for him to come back like this, and it wasn't just the sleeping around that I was like, excuse me, this is not Colin. It was the charm.
Yes,
and it was the flirting
with the ladies.
And it was the it was the looks, and I was like, that's not Colin.
That's not Colin.
And I found myself thinking, okay, in season 1 and season 2, Anthony. Well, I mean, in season 1, he wasn't necessarily sleeping around. He was just sleeping with Sienna. But in season 2, he was sleeping with prostitutes and things like that, whatever. So we knew Anthony was doing that, but Anthony didn't carry on like that. No. He didn't treat women like that. He wasn't, the smoozing, and he wasn't like that. So for me, it was like
Colin.
No,
Anthony wasn't.
Anthony wasn't like that.
He wasn't like that. So that's why I'm like. That's why I'm like, I don't know why you've made Colin into that. Colin of all people. Why did you make Colin into that?
Well, it makes sense. No, well, it makes to somewhat degree some kind of sense, because he got his heart broken by
Lady Crane.
Yeah. So then he went travelling, and then that's
Yeah, but in season 2, it was like, oh, he wanted to travel because he wanted to establish himself. Because obviously his family was doing this and that and third. And he wanted to find himself in his purpose. So fair enough. So it's like, okay, if that's why you went travelling, then what has that got to do with you, Lady Crane? Because he saw Lady Crane in season 2.
Yeah, he did.
And we thought that was the end of it, squashed, peace. I can heal, move on. So anyway, so you come back from travelling and you're this whole new different person. And I'm sorry, I didn't like you.
Yeah.
Because why are you acting like that?
Yeah.
Drastic change.
And then the sleeping with the prostitutes, because I think that was in episode 1.
Yeah.
It was like
it was just,
and it was a 3 people going on here.
Yeah.
And it's like it was unnecessary. We just didn't need to see it.
Yeah.
It's just something that his brother would have got up to back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, just like this. It was a difference to his character.
Massive difference.
Like a massive difference to his character.
It was like he was no longer the gentleman he's always been.
No. Yeah.
But it wasn't just. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, but then again, okay, then I guess because he did explain that it was coming away from societal expectations. So maybe that's why he stopped being a gentleman.
But it wasn't just Colin that they changed. The character of another person that they did change is also Penelope. And Penelope, what did you think about her now all of a sudden? Yeah, so eager to be married. Like and I think that was completely explained because in the last season, in season 2, she wasn't really marriage was never on the cards. She didn't care.
Not really.
I don't know if it wasn't that she didn't care or because she was so invested in Lady Whistledown.
Yeah.
It was just never. She had a crutch.
Yeah.
There was always something to fall back on, and now all of a sudden she can't be bothered to be at home. She's tired of home, and now she's so eager to be married.
I think with Penelope, I think they only somewhat teased that. I think it was towards the end. There was a conversation that she had with Eloise.
Yeah.
And Eloise was basically saying, "Oh, you actually like all of this stuff, don't you? This is actually your thing." But before that, it's always obviously the two of them always making fun of certain things and whatever. But it was that like they had a conversation, and Eloise was basically like, "You actually like all of this stuff, and you actually would want this. This is actually your thing." I think that's the only time that they actually tease that maybe she actually is into that stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, she didn't show any interest in it. Obviously, she only showed interest in Colin, but not necessarily marriage and the whole.
But I think, and obviously, her saying that, oh, I need to find myself a husband because I cannot stand being at home any longer. I guess we already knew from season 1 and 2 that she doesn't like her family and she doesn't fit in with her family.
And they don't, because of how they treat her, they just
I think for me, what I didn't like is that you've made the decision now that you want a husband. You acknowledge that your wardrobe and your look needs to change, right? But what I didn't like was that it was like a magical sudden confidence came upon her.
Yeah.
And she was doing things that she never would have done in the previous seasons. And it was like there was no that we didn't see a growth in confidence. We just saw a sudden confidence.
Yeah.
There was no growth.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, that's what you've decided. That's it. From the Penelope from season 1 and season 2, where she was, always on the wall, as she would say it. How did you get to just obviously not as confident as Eloise or Kate, but that confidence wasn't really grown. It just came.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is episode 1. So
and the whole altering a wardrobe in accordance to do with Colin.
Yeah.
Of where he went. So she wanted a wardrobe specifically of somewhere he went, and I think that was to do with Paris and how she wanted a specific look because of Colin.
And obviously they connected because the end of season 2 when he said he would never dream of courting Penelope Featherington, so we got to see that unfold a little bit.
Oh, yeah, she pulled him up on that.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think all was forgiven too quickly.
Absolutely.
But
and then when she addressed it with him, in my head it was like, the fact that it got to you so much, you've kind of admitted to him that you have feelings for him. Because if you were just friends and he said, I wouldn't dream of courting her, it would have been like, well, we're just friends. I don't want to court you either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was forgiven so easily was just like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
That's
obviously him, obviously then us offering to help her to find a husband.
Yeah, which, you know, is fine.
Yeah, that's fine because they were supposed to be friends, so that's fine. But even the fact that the Queen, this in episode 1 mentioned that there was going to be no diamond.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, minimal changes that just not necessary.
Yeah.
Like, there's always a diamond. What do you mean there's no
there's
diamond?
always a diamond
like,
of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was a bit weird. And then also there was no the scene of Kate and Anthony.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's quickly touch on that.
That wasn't enough.
Like,
no. And obviously we do know, everybody out there, we know we're not going to see them as much. It's not their season. We get it. But we could have had a little more, you know. But it's okay.
More.
Yeah, we did see them a little bit doing, not really, but doing like their duties as
Viscount and
Viscountess.
Yeah.
And then they had their whole thing with the mum, because now if Kate stays there, she's going to become Lady Bridgerton, and that means the mum moves out. So I think the mum was getting a bit anxious about doing that move. And so that's when Kate was basically suggesting, okay, let's just extend our honeymoon and let's get out of here. Let's just enjoy
continue
being,
running the household.
Yeah. So that was that.
Obviously, you know, when we saw my Kate and Anthony, especially Anthony, because Anthony is the best. But it was nice. I was grinning the whole time.
Yeah, it was so nice seeing them together.
I think Kate looked beautiful.
Yeah,
I think being a wife,
she
suits
did.
her.
Yeah, she did.
You know, obviously, even though it's a role, but no, she looked lovely.
She did.
Yeah, and it was nice to see them. It was nice to see them for the little bit that we saw them. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
But they were in episode 1 briefly, and they've gone back on an extended honeymoon.
Yeah.
Really, I mean.
Yeah.
So what did we also think? Obviously, this is our first introduction to also Penelope and Eloise. Yeah. After Eloise has found out she is Lady Whistledown.
Yes.
So, and after she did her dirty.
Yes. So what did we think about their interaction?
Yeah, not impressed.
Yeah. No, I think it was a cop out. I think given us that, I just want to move on and leave the past behind, leave it there, and just whatever. That's weak.
It's weak.
Yeah. Why?
And then you know why it's so weak as well? You lot were best friends.
Yeah.
You're best friends to now, we hardly talk. Obviously, questions are going to be asked.
Yeah.
You know, eyebrows are going to be raised. So you can't just say to people, we just grew apart. Or, you know...
Yeah, no, it's true.
You can't just say that.
It's
because
true.
You lot were best friends. You didn't grow apart.
Yeah,
you didn't.
You didn't.
Exactly.
So, and then the fact that, okay, maybe you don't want other people to know the ins and outs, which is why that's why you're saying that to other people. But between the two of you, you can't just be brushing it off and just be doing...
Yeah.
Oh, that was annoying.
Like, just watching
every move.
Just watching her. And you're not saying anything.
No.
Like... this is
after what she did
to you, obviously maybe it's because at the end of season 2 Eloise gave her a piece of her mind, so maybe she thinks there's nothing more to say. But at the same time, you went through you got dragged through the mud. She dragged you through the mud in society, and now Penelope has come back into society as if nothing has ever happened. Lady Whistledown is still writing, people are still reading her stuff. Yeah. So you need to be. Yeah.
There needs to be more happening. And even if that's you exposing her, which, you know, I don't know, people might say it's harsh, but for me personally, she was your best friend. She betrayed you. She dragged your name through the mud. Yeah. And you're letting Lady Whistledown go on like not a care in the world.
Yeah. Like nothing ever happened.
I wasn't impressed.
Yeah. And not even just that, the fact that you know that she's Lady Whistledown, and you're still anyway, I think we're going to be touching on that, but the fact that you know the whole Penelope and Colin situation and still allowing that to carry on, yet you know who she is. But I think we're going to touch on that in future episodes. But yeah, but
and obviously
yeah.
the ball. Okay, so obviously
Yeah,
Lord Debling now, because
Yes.
Lord Debling is with Penelope and with Colin is the center of the season. Because
Yeah.
Lord Debling is the only lord that was really interested in.
Yeah, because he
Penelope.
was the only one
Only suitor,
who
yeah.
doesn't read Lady Whistledown. So
Yeah.
nobody wants anything to do with Penelope because of what? Because of the stuff of it that's been going on. But he doesn't know anything to
Yeah,
do in
he
that.
doesn't, yeah.
So she was able to actually be herself with him, and I think she actually caught his eye, and he was actually enjoying meeting her and his time with her. So
Yeah. So obviously at the ball, Cressida. And actually the friendship with Cressida and Eloise we'll touch on briefly as well.
Yeah.
Didn't really make sense because obviously we know Cressida Cowper. We know her from season 1 and season 2, and she was always horrible.
Yeah.
So to see the friendship between Eloise and Cressida is like, well, what's going on here? Because Eloise couldn't stand Cressida.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think anybody could.
No.
But
And they didn't even touch on that hardly.
not really.
Just that
she was kind.
she was the only one that was kind to her throughout. You know,
The
after
scandal.
what Lady Whistledown did, and I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. So obviously Cressida destroys Penelope's dress at the ball, which leads to the events where Penelope runs out crying. Colin runs out after her, and then she finally addresses what Colin said about her at the end of season 2.
Yeah, the fact that she doesn't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And
so,
hasn't been speaking to him.
So she was ignoring his letters, whatever. She didn't want to talk to him throughout the whole episode, but she finally addressed it in that scene where she ran out of the ball to say, well, this is what you said about me. And
and then after that, she then does what she does. She goes home and she writes an article about Colin.
Right, yeah.
And so that big thing comes out, and now everyone's talking about Colin or whatever. Eloise obviously sees it, shows Colin what Lady Whistledown has said about him.
Yeah.
And then Colin, like, this change in him, and he's like, Ellie was like, do you not even like matter about who she could be or whatever? And he's like, you know what, if I ever find out, I'm gonna make her life a living hell.
Yeah.
She's gonna wish she never, whatever. I
was watching that, I was like, I was like,
and then we're like, oh, and it's Penelope, yeah?
And it's Penelope.
And I think we were saying, if only he knew. And if he actually finds out
what's gonna happen.
We were like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
what's gonna happen? But when she went back and wrote that article, I was watching it, I was just like, I know you guys are gonna come for me, but I was watching it, I was just like, I don't like Penelope.
Yeah.
She's doing what she does best. That's what she knows.
That is what she does.
You get
Yeah.
one. Like, I'm not saying that you have no right to be hurt by Colin's actions. I'm not saying that. But it's like you get one little bit of hurt and you go and write about him on Lady Whistledown in the way that you did.
Yeah.
Without even giving him an opportunity to explain himself.
Yeah.
And like she's already done damage to that family. And now she's just adding to it.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Sorry.
But
no.
Yeah, it's a crutch, innit?
Yeah, that's who she is.
And
that's
as Eloise said when she gave it to her at the end of season 2, you go and write on your scandal sheet because you can't stand up for yourself in real life.
And it's
Exactly.
true because she doesn't have that confidence.
Yeah,
she doesn't have that confidence in society.
Running out. Not Penelope. Cressida has ripped your dress and you're just running. That's what she does. And then people are suing, and then she just running. That's it.
And she doesn't have confidence, which is so weird because
But
how
now she
long?
does.
Yeah, but how long has she been writing and watching from the shadows and watching from windows? You don't know how things work as a woman in society.
Yeah.
You don't have a voice when you're in public. You don't know how to speak. You don't know. And it's like, are you not Lady Whistledown?
Obviously, just briefly, obviously we know that she knows how to dance.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're Lady Whistledown and you've been watching all the girls of the ton, you don't know how to flirt. You don't know how to talk to men. You don't know what men expect of the women.
Yeah.
And you're Lady Whistledown.
And you watch everybody.
That was
to me, that was a bit. But yeah, to put it into practice, that's different.
Yeah, because she's never had the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense then in that sense.
Yeah.
But there was to be honest, we know obviously there was a lot in this episode. And I think we've noticed that this season is obviously about, Polin, but about the ton as well. And that there was a lot in this episode, not just about Polin, but about everybody
the ton.
in Mayfair.
Lines. Yeah.
So there was a lot to go on. And there was probably things that we probably didn't touch on. But if there are anything that you want us to touch on or things that we did miss, let us know.
And we'll know in the comments.
We'll try and like incorporate them again in like the next episode so that we can hit the things that we missed. But yeah, what did you guys think anyway of the pilot episode of season 3 and the first look of Polin and everything else going on?
You know, I definitely think the first episode of the season was pretty good. Just getting us back into the swing of things. And I thought episode 1 was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. You know, maybe it could have been better, and it wasn't. It probably wasn't as good as season 2 episode 1. It was pretty good for a first episode.
I agree. But let us know what you guys think anyway, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for episode 2 of Bridgerton season 3. Patten time out.